up our tribute of praise.
It was a somber mood as 5-year-old Mark Mwangi's remains were lowered into the grave at Kennesaw Memorial Park in the city of Kennesaw in the state of Georgia here in the United States. Mark died 10 days ago after he drowned at this swimming pool in an apartment complex in Roswell, Georgia, about 25 miles north of the city of Atlanta. Police discovered and retrieved his body from the bottom of the pool, and he was pronounced dead on arrival at a nearby hospital. Tears flowed as the Saturday ceremony, conducted by the pastor of the Kenyan American Community Church in Marietta, Georgia, the Reverend Dr GG Gitahi, got underway.
Blessings of God the Father.
Young Mark was eulogized as a happy-go-lucky boy who spent a considerable amount of time praying for his friends.
He was a wonderful, wonderful boy. And every time he could keep asking me, is it Auntie the time to go to church?
His distraught parents sat pensively as the body of their only child was interred. Earlier in the day, a wake and a memorial service were conducted at West Cobb Funeral Home, where speaker after speaker told of how the young man had touched many people's lives through his glowing smile and friendly mien.
I have to say that Mark was one of the shining joys in the classroom. Every time you'd come into the classroom, he would just embrace you with a huge hug and a smile and would want you to play with him. And he was the nicest child to all the other children. Even if there was a child that didn't have very many friends, Mark was always the one that was willing to ask that child if he or she would want to play and engage that child in something fun on the playground or in center time. He was a joy. I had students, adult students that came to the school with me, and one of my students was a young man that Mark truly loved. He would come up to my student Andrew with the biggest hug, and even after my students graduated every week, Mark would ask me, where are your friends? And so Mark knew no one that wasn't a friend. He was a very special boy, someone who will be dearly missed, and we're very sorry for your loss.
Having Mark as a cousin, and I'm thankful for the time we spent together, and I hope he rests in peace.
We are going to miss Mark. He has a special spot in our hearts, and it's going to be irreplaceable. We're just going to miss him.
But we thank God that God got a name for you, Tasha and Timothy, and God will take you through, and it will be well.
Your laughter, your joy, and your eager to make friends will forever live with us. You will be a part of us forever.
And Mark is looking up to us every day, and we give thanks to God for whatever goes on. That's all.
But there was a silver lining to the dark cloud hanging over the family. The Kenyan community in and around Atlanta offered a shoulder to lean on by praying, giving resources and their time from the day news of Mark's death broke. Even the embassy in Washington, D.C. was commended for coming to the aid of the family by acting swiftly in facilitating the visa issuance to Mark's grandmother at the U.S. Embassy in Nairobi, enabling her to travel at short notice.
To our embassy in Washington, D.C., who did a lot to expedite the visa acquisition for Mom so she could travel here and be with us today. You also thank them.
Mark's grandma, however, who had arrived the previous day from Nairobi, could not find words as she was overcome by grief. Clearly a very sad moment as yet another Kenyan, a young Kenyan in the diaspora who died in very tragic circumstances, is laid to rest. BMJ Meridian TV, Kennesaw, Georgia.